Unfamiliar territory, or is it? The saying goes, if you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it. Reaver football, they've been riding high since year 2 of the program, nationally ranked, nationally known, and when the Reavers come to town, the target is always on their backs. The same goes for this week's opponent, but both squads have struggled this season. We'll see the highlights of this week's NJCAA battle coming up next on the Coach Stroh Show, the Iowa Western Football Coaches Show, only on Iowa Western Television's Reaver Sports Network. From the studios of IWTV in Council Bluffs, last season, this week's matchup ended up deciding who would get in the national title game. This year, Garden City and Iowa Western only decides who moves in the right direction and who slides a little bit further in the wrong one. Hello, everybody. I'm Jake Ryan, along with Reavers head football coach Scott Stroh. Coach, is there such a thing as having too much time to prepare for an opponent? You're 6-1 all-time in bye weeks, games after bye weeks, and the lone exception being last season when Garden City got you by 3 points at their place. This year, you get them again. Would you have rather gone into those back-to-back games against Iowa Central and Hutch with a chance to play right away, or did you need that extra week of preparation?
Well, I think we needed it health-wise just to get some guys healthy. Otherwise, we'd have been a little bit more shorthanded in this game. But, it's unfortunate because, like I said, you use that bye week. You got a little bit more time to prepare. Maybe you prepare too much. Maybe you put in too much. I don't know. But unfortunately, the last 2 years, we didn't take advantage of our game after the bye.
Yeah, well, let's take a look at the highlights. Iowa Western and Garden City, number 15 for the Reavers, number 18 for the Broncbusters. Reavers coming out in their all-blue unis, while Garden City, well, they play in the white with the pale yellow numbers, which is one of my favorites of all time. Opening kickoff of the game, and it's a chance for the Reavers special teams to get out. Pretty good starting position for the dark side.
Yeah, it was good. You get them inside the 20-yard line, which is always a good way to start.
There's a long ball thrown. Their quarterback, Nate Cox, 6'9". Have you seen many quarterbacks that height or taller in your time as a coach or even as a player?
I have not. That's as big as tall as I've ever seen one.
I guess Brock Osweiler is the only one that comes to mind recently in the NFL that has been that tall. Reavers get a pass that deflects, and then this pass that, the previous play right before this, they threw the exact same ball and it was overthrown. This time the Reavers get a little bit lost. Had a comment, maybe there was a push-off beforehand. Either way, it's a 67-yard touchdown and nobody was around him to catch that floater.
Yeah, we can't give up the big plays. We had a chance to drive the ball and we didn't, and give it back to them, and we just can't give up the big plays.
Cam Thomas taking a shot downfield. Dangerous pass does get dropped to the turf, so it's another turnover back to Garden City. And the Reaver D has been your strong suit this season. They've done what they can. Last 2 games, though, the time of possession has really slanted itself in favor of the opponent, and this game was heading that way as well.
Yeah, it was. And they huddle, and so you limit your possession, so you can't put yourself in bad positions, and then we're backed up too much. We got to be able to catch those punts.
Speaking of getting backed up and then getting out of there is Zaquandre White with a little push, and then he gets the 15 yards after that for the push out of bounds. Cam Thomas again under pressure. Seemed like he didn't have very much time to throw early on in this game.
Yeah, they pressure us, and so it takes it. You got to get the ball out of your hands fairly quick, and we weren't getting in position to do that, so we had to break the pocket, but we got to do a better job.
Nate Cox just slinging it around, and I'm telling you what, it didn't look pretty sometimes, but he was getting the job done. Double coverage on 2 straight possessions, and then they'll go to the run right up the middle and just downhill kind of back. They had 4 different ones. There's Gina Cada getting honored in between quarters as you guys trail 7-0. Garden City going back to work, looking to add to that lead. Big push and into the end zone. And there you go, 14-0 for Garden City on the extra point. So you find yourself down again in a 2-score hole. What do you tell the team right now? Obviously, you get that same kind of dreading feeling when things are going the way that it has the last couple of weeks.
Well, now it gets to a point where who is going to step up and make plays, and who's going to help get the spark. We were flat. I felt after we're down 14-0, we get a big play here, and there's really not a lot of excitement, that's going on from the sidelines to whatever. Like we got to make it more fun there.
Corey Reed with the good catch, and then Cam Thomas just overshoots the receiver. A little bit of the turnovers slanting in the direction of Garden City, and then the Reavers get one. How about this one? Low snap, big kid as the punter. He was also the starting center, and well, he couldn't handle that snap. It's too low. You guys have great field position, but you failed to take advantage. At least Zaquandre White trying to make it count for you, getting inside the 10. What was the thinking here as you go for it on 4th down on this drive, as far as getting the touchdown or getting the field goal?
Well, I thought we were at the 4-yard line on the right hash, and trying to kick. Sometimes you kick it from there, and to be honest, angle. and I didn't think 3 points was gonna what we needed. We needed a touchdown there. Unfortunately, we didn't get it, so it hurt the momentum. I don't know if a field goal would have changed the momentum. Maybe it changes our play calls a little bit.
Well, how about this one? Nearly a knee in the end zone, almost came up with a safety. They do determine that the forward progress, and his knee was down at the inch line, and then a big punt. The one thing that Matt, I believe his last name is Hatchie, the center and punter, did, he got it away very quickly. Didn't give you a chance to really get in and block it.
Right, for sure. Here we got good field position again, and look at where we're ending up. That's 2 games in a row where we're in the positive side of the field, and we end up in the negative side, and there's not a lot of 3rd and 26 plays that you can run.
Yeah. It seemed that you guys would pull off a first down, whether it would be through something that you were doing effectively or whether it was a penalty that put you in the first down. But you look at what happened after that, you were always fighting uphill after that initial first down.
Yeah. Here we got a big turnover, which was huge. Avery, with the strip sack and trying to get something going. Still 14-0. We're still in this thing with just too many negative plays.
And again, it seems like one guy shoots through and drops Cam or forces a bad throw, and then all of a sudden you're playing again against the chains, and then they're going to throw it all the way down. Great play for the Reavers on that one. It looked like they were going to come up with another big one, and at the last minute, a diving swat of that pass. For sure, it was Jalen Perkins who did a nice job, coming into the game, and and they're taking shots down the field, and we have to answer in some of those situations. Yeah, 14-0. We'll see what the Reavers can muster when we come back for the second half. We will check out the highlights and more. You've got the Coach Stroh Show on Iowa Western Television.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back.
when you want to talk, I'm here.
From the IWTV studios, I'm Jake Ryan, along with the head coach of the Iowa Western Reavers, Scott Strohmeyer. Coach, what was the discussion in the locker room at the break, you're down a couple of points or a couple of scores, not only with the guys, but also with your coaching staff. What did you guys see from Garden City that you thought maybe you'd be able to take advantage of in the second half?
Well, one, I think the first, I wanted to get the group together because I thought we were flat, and I thought they felt the game was over. There was no excitement, and trying to just figure out what we needed to do to be able to get these guys back going. And I felt, I don't know. It didn't feel like our team at halftime. Nobody was talking. Nobody was saying anything. We're down 14-0. It's not like the game was over.
Now, you're kind of an even keel kind of guy. Is that when you bring out the fiery Coach Strohmeyer, or do you just stay even keel the whole time, telling them, "Hey guys, let's go. You gotta raise the volume up a little bit. Let's make this happen."
Yeah, there might be a little bit, different voice or tone, I guess, that's been being used. But like I said, it was more that I was embarrassed that we played the way we did, and that's on me, and we got to get them ready, get them on the right track.
All right, that's the Netflix Coach Strohmeyer, I'm sure. Let's take a look at those highlights in the second half. Reavers again down 14-0, and they will receive the opening kickoff, which doesn't happen very often, Coach. You guys are fairly decent at winning that coin flip and taking the ball first. But Garden City flipped the script on you, and they will. They tried this little pooch kick pretty much all day, and this one's going to cost them some good field position as you get nearly to the 35-yard line.
Well, it's good. You get 35. You get the ball to 35, it's something good to start, and
how about Zaquandre White reversing field, turns something into nothing, or nothing into something, as he goes all the way into Garden City territory. That's one thing I've been impressed by. Zaquandre always running hard.
Yeah, he does. And that's, like I said, he's passionate about it. And he made something happen there and put us in a position. But guess what? We ended up going backwards.
Yep.
On the next one, and now again we're in 3rd and 20-some.
Another quarterback sack that hurt you against Touch. It hurt you certainly against Garden City today as well. And then, the defense, I'm telling you what, when they come to play, they come to play. That front four and the linebackers doing a nice job of wrapping things up for Garden City. But Garden City doing a good job of keeping the passing open. Defense, though, doing a nice job shutting them down, getting the 3 and out.
For sure. And a good start to the second half, and you just can't get too many negative plays.
That play right there, Coach, struck me as odd because his forward progress stopped quite a bit, 6 yards forward, and they don't call the play dead until later. Is that indicative of his running style? That's why?
Maybe, but everybody else we play, it ends up being 6 yards forward.
Sure, well, it happened to Garden City later in the game as Zaquandre gets a 31-yard run and then scores the first touchdown. Now you're on the board. It's 14-7 on the Contreras extra point, and guess what? The ball's continuing to go backwards for Garden City. You're doing a nice job defensively.
And here we got some life. We're putting them in good position. But then we get them in a 3rd and 17, and they get 16 to be able to go for it on 4th down and get that first down.
And they get the first down on 4th down, and then a little bit of a leap on the other side, slips, or it would have been a bigger dagger. And then Garden City just continuing to march down. Again, at 14-7, you feel like you've got a chance. At 21-7, it feels like they've taken the game back over, and any momentum that you've built emotionally with your guys kind of deflated as they continue to drive down.
Well, and so not even is it going to be, if they 21-7, they also took 10 minutes off the clock. And so here we are, and we had 2 possessions, I think, in the 3rd quarter. And like I said, this is a big time, drive on their part. Not very good on our part of not getting them off the field and not being able to answer after we score.
So you managed to shut them down for a loss on 1st and goal from the 1, but then a fumble there, and then guess what? They get right back to the 1, and then on the ensuing play, they will punch it in. Just as you said, the clock continuing to work against you guys. Is that something that teams you found more and more try to stifle your fast-paced offense, keep you off the field?
Yeah, like I said, anytime you can get first downs and limit your opponent's possessions, you're in good shape. I thought we were close there. I thought maybe we got them.
4th and goal, and I thought you had him too, but as I said on the radio broadcast, guess what? They checked the tape and they ruled that he crossed the plane. The official came in all the way to the point where he was down instead of ruling it right away. I guess I don't understand the logic it's either a touchdown or it doesn't matter how close you're going to get to it.
Right, and he wanted to see the ball across. I don't know why he wanted to see the ball across. I thought we stopped him because he came running in,
Sure.
like waving his arm like it was the play was
Well,
over.
players never move the football after the play's over.
No,
So
no,
they
never.
get the touchdown. They do go up 21, and then Nate Cox continuing to find his guys. Unbelievable. That throw right there, almost a rainbow into the awaiting arms of the receiver, and then another run for a couple of yards. But as you said before, it continues to make the clock run. And we, even though we're up there with the clock operator, he was doing his job and running when he was supposed to. And then this big run just absolutely deflated any sort of momentum that you were trying to get back.
Yeah, I mean, it's 21-7, and in the fourth now, and I don't know. We think we had one possession in the fourth, and they end up scoring here. Now you're down 3 scores, and not easy to get the football back.
Yeah. So you, on average, what are you looking for in a game, possession-wise, play-wise?
Well, I mean, we've been consistently in the 80s, upper 80s, plays. And generally, I like to say it's anywhere from 10 to 12 possessions. Sometimes you get more than that.
Yeah.
So you think about it, you average whatever, you score 4 touchdowns,
Sure.
It's 40%. You don't have much room for error.
Nice to see Josh Simmons score his first reception as a Reaver. And then you guys moving the ball. I mean, you're moving the ball as Zaquandre White. This is kind of a prevent defense, I suppose, for Garden City. They're up 28-7 at this point, and Zaquandre White just not stopping. You just keep feeding the rock. Even when he gets slung back there, his leg's still moving on the play.
Yeah. Well, and I was proud of our guys. We're down 28-7. There's not much time left, and they still work to score. And where some could just quit. And I actually called timeout, 2 timeouts, at the end of the game here just so we can make sure we can get a touchdown. Get these guys some confidence. And feel some success. I think that can carry over.
Up and over goes Zaquandre, 28-14. The onside kick goes 9 yards, and then something you hate seeing on your own field is victory formation for the opposing team. So now you find yourself at 1-3. It's the first 3-game in-season losing streak since the very first year of Reaver football. In fact, the first 3 games, I remember you had to come up to the booth at Grand Rapids and talk to us. And I just remember it was a similar situation, just at a loss for words. So you've had a couple days to reflect on it. What can you do? Do you give the guys a chance to vocalize what they feel the problem is? Do you, as coaches, get harder on them? Do you go easier? I mean, do you have a psychology degree?
I think I've been given one after coaching this long. But we met as a long time as a staff on Sunday, and just trying to pinpoint some things. And I met with the team on Sunday. I met with the team on Monday, and really I wanted to hash some things out. I gave them an opportunity in that team meeting to let me have it. You can say whatever you want. What's our problems? Where's our problems at? And not to take it personal, but some guys may get called out, and they did. We watched the film as an offense and a defense, so people outside of your position group can see that you're not are playing very well, or you didn't play very well, or you do make some plays. So, I think we're going to find out a lot about these young men, and this is when you need it. This is where the coaches can find it now. You know what I mean? Because you can't bury them into the ground. You got to try to now get them back up and start playing the way we were at Coffeyville.
Yeah. Well, another 100-day rushing yard day for Zaquandre White. He's the lone highlight offensively. I just feel like he just keeps moving. He's one of the guys that you look at and you're like, okay, that's effort all the time. I know nobody's perfect, but as far as offense goes, he seems to be the guy that's giving it to you consistently, game in and game out.
Well, and I think he gives us a little bit of a spark. Now we need more people to feed off of him, you know, and now we need him to be more consistent in doing the things that we want him to do too, not just on, you know, on the field, and can be one of those guys because they can see that, you know, it's competitive and he wants to, when he plays hard.
Yeah, still 7 games to go in the regular season. The longest road trip of the season coming our way. We'll talk about that one coming up. First, though, a member of the Dark Side stops in to talk with Riley Teton. We're back in a moment with that and more on the Coach Stroh Show on Iowa Western Television.
The Dr. John and Jean Marshall Wellness Center, opening summer of 2019, Iowa Western.
Schedule your campus visit today. Iowa Western. The world is waiting.
From the studios of Iowa Western Television, this is the Coach Stroh Show. I'm Riley Teton. Joining me today on the show is freshman linebacker Avery Hobbs. Thanks for coming in today, Avery.
You're welcome.
So, first of all, as a Wisconsin native, what brought you here to Iowa Western?
Definitely just the tradition of the program and the winning of the program and helping kids get out to the next level, and that was my main goal coming here.
So far, the Dark Side, they've looked very physical. What's your mentality when you go and you take the field?
Yeah, we want to go in and shut down the run game right away, and our D-backs help out in the back, and don't let like 14 points or something like that. But we've been struggling here lately, but we're going to get them back on track here against Dodge City. So
something I've noticed is that there's a lot of big hits. What's it like when you get one of those big hits, or you just make a critical stop?
Yeah, doing anything you can for the team. That's just our big goal as a player. We want to have gang tackling as a defense and just helping out as much as we can.
So the defense, they've looked really sharp. They're probably the better side of the ball. Yeah. So, but one thing I have noticed is you have given up a few long plays or big plays. What are you guys doing to try to limit those?
Yeah, we had a film session with everybody on Sunday, and we just kind of looked at what we can do better as all of the defense, not just our defensive backs. Up front, we can get a better pass rush, or our technique in the backfield, or linebackers, getting into our gaps and getting into the zone of the quarterback's eyes. So it's kind of an all-around just thing. It's not really just on one guy and defensive backs, but we all got to help out a little bit.
So those are some of the in-game adjustments. Mentally, what are you guys doing to stay focused and try to achieve your goal?
Yeah, during the week, we watch a lot of film. We got to stay accountable as players, watching all of our film. If we're at practice or in our room, just staying focused and day in and day out getting better.
So next week you travel to Dodge City.
Yep.
Chance to get back in the win column. What are you guys going to need to do to get back in that win column?
Yeah, we got to come out. We've been pretty flat lately. We got to come out really physical right away, and it's a long drive, but we're going to stay focused, and it's a business trip for us. So we'll get there and hopefully get a W against a decent Dodge City team. They're 0-4, but they're really physical up front, and we'll be all right.
Avery, thanks for being here.
Yep, appreciate it.
Linebacker Avery Hobbs, I'm Riley Teton. Looking forward to this week's game when we continue on this Coach Stroh Show. Jake and Coach will talk Dodge City. More on the Coach Stroh Show on the Reaver Sports Network and IWTV.
Listen to me. I am captain of the track team, and And if I'm late,
She doesn't really think she's going to get out of here, does she?
Be nice. She's new. Hello, is anyone there? Ugh!
Wow. Even from our standards, you look awful.
Oh, sweetie, what happened? Me? My friend Becky got to talk to this super cute boy, and I tried to act like I wasn't jealous, but I so totally was. And then out of nowhere, this concrete barrier just popped up. Maybe it was a semi.
You mean you were driving?
Yeah. I mean, I know the whole eyes on the road thing, but this was a super important text. Maybe you have to know, Becky.
Texting? Great.
But it was only like 5 seconds, and I'm a really, really fast texter, so it wasn't even a big deal. Actually, has she texted me back yet? Wow, I get like no bars in this place. I wonder if they have Wi-Fi here.
Sometimes the things we do or say can make others feel hurt, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world? You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.
Drop that baby.
From Council Bluffs, Iowa, and the studios of IWTV, we are back with more Stroh Show. All right, Coach, there's a lot of season left. 7 games in the regular season, plus a bowl game looms out there as well if you take care of business. So you go into a game this week that is, well, very winnable. You look at the records. Dodge City comes in. They have not won a game. You guys come in. You're struggling a little bit. It's one of those games in the past that you'd be like, okay, that's a win. You go into this one knowing that you guys should get in there and take care of business. What do you know about the Conks? Obviously, they've got some familiarity with Coach Cox there, but and some I guess Midwest Football Conference experience as well with their head coach Ricky Kuhn. So, what do you know about this year's Conks squad?
One, I mean, they're really young, you know, and they brought in. I mean, majority of the guys are all newer freshmen. I know he's going to do a good job. He's a really good defensive coach, and you know, I'm seeing that on film. So they lost a game that they didn't give up an offensive touchdown, you know, and we'll have our work cut out for us. Plus, just like a couple other games, I mean, this is if they win one game all year, they want this one, you know, with the former coach on our staff that's there, you know, and Ricky, you know, Coach Kuhn, who took it over, knows about our program as well. But, you know, we got some other things. You know, I'm excited to go on the road, honestly, the first overnight road game of the year, and getting the team, you know, on the bus together and spend some time Friday night before the game to see if we can't get our minds set on the goal ahead.
All right. The game, well, the next home game, let's talk about that first. October 5th, homecoming in Council Bluffs. In 2 weeks, the Reavers take on Ellsworth at Titan Stadium. And until then, you can listen in at 1 p.m. this Saturday. It's a long road trip, so let us do the traveling. And make sure you tune in on 89.7 The River or log on to GoReavers.com to watch all of the action on Reaver Vision. Iowa Western Television, of course, will get you the game absolutely free. Watch it on your mobile device or your computer at home, wherever you can tune in to the internets. Thanks again to freshman linebacker Avery Hobbs, head coach Scott Strohmeyer, and all of the hardworking IWTV students that make this show happen week in and week out. I'm Jake Ryan for Riley Teton. Thanks for tuning in for another edition of the Stroh Show here on Iowa Western Television and the Reaver Sports Network. Go Reavers!